What's up, guys? It's Griffin here with B2B Personal Finance, and today we are going to discuss how to fix a bad credit score. If you're not sure how a credit score is calculated, make sure to check out my previous video on that. It'll be up there. The number one way to fix your credit score is to smash the like button and subscribe down below to my channel, guys. But really, liking, commenting, subscribing really will help with the exposure to my channel, guys, and I really do appreciate it so much. So why should you guys even care about what your credit score is? A bad credit score really can lead to so many potential roadblocks when you're trying to get a mortgage, a car loan, a credit card, student loans. A creditor will look at your credit score and maybe deny you if it's low. You can also have difficulty getting a rental application approved. Landlords look at your credit score to see if you have previous history of paying your rent on time or not. Another factor of a bad credit score is you having to put a deposit down for utilities like gas, electricity, and water. This leads to an upfront cost of you having to put a deposit down for getting those services. As you can see, the 300 to 579 range is poor. In this range, you will have issues getting approved for any kind of loans. The 580 to 669 range is fair. 670 to 739 is good. The range you want to be at is 740 to 799. This is the very good range. Applicants with scores here are likely to receive better average rates from lenders, and this range is normally where you get the best interest rates on your loan. Next is the all-exclusive 800 to 850 range. This is exceptional, and this is where a lot of people want to get, but not many people will actually ever get there. The range that you want to be at is the 740 to 799 range at least. This really will give you the best chance to get the best interest rates on all your loans. The higher your credit score, the more likely you are to get approved for credit and to have the best interest rate. If your score is low, it can be hard to obtain lines of credits, and if you do, your interest rate will be really high. This can lead you to paying tens of thousands of dollars more for a loan. Before we get into the video on how to fix your bad credit score, let's go over what actually makes up a credit score. One is on-time payments. This makes up 35% of your FICO credit score. You always need to make sure that you do not have late or missed payment. Paying your loans as agreed upon is the best way to fix a bad credit score. With on-time payments making up 35% of your credit score, even one late payment can really hurt your credit score. Two is credit utilization, and this is 30% of your score. Credit utilization is determined on how much credit you have available and how much you are using. If you're constantly maxing out your credit cards and having high utilization, you can be a high-risk borrower to lenders. Three is age of credit, and this makes up 15% of your score. Lenders like to see that you have a long credit history. This shows that you've been able to manage your payments and pay everything back. Four is types of accounts, and this is 10% of your score. Lenders like to see that you're able to manage different types of loans, such as mortgages, car loans, student loans, and credit cards. Last is new accounts, and this is 10% also. Lenders don't like to see you opening up lots of new accounts in a short period of time. This causes them to see you as a high risk and wonder why you need so much new credit in a short period of time. Now that we know what makes up your credit score, let's jump in and see what kind of tips we can do to increase your score instantly. The first step to improve your credit score is you need to know what is on your credit report. So if you don't know what's on your credit report, you need to pull your credit report right now. Whether you know your credit score or not, you need to do this so you can see if there's any fraudulent accounts on your credit report. You can do this at annualcreditreport.com for free. And if you haven't done it before, you should pull all three credit bureaus: TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. When looking at your credit report, check for any errors. This can include any personal information that's incorrect, or any fraudulent accounts that you did not open. While most of the information should be about the same on all three of the credit reports, there might be some differences. If you notice any fraudulent accounts, you will need to dispute those accounts with all three credit bureaus. My next point is you need to stop the bleeding. In one of my previous videos, I had a stat that there is over $7,000 of credit card debt per household. Nothing makes me more mad than someone carrying a credit card balance. You must stop the bleeding and stop you using your credit card more than you can afford to pay off at the end of the month. The best way to do this is to make sure you are not spending more than you are earning. And to do this, you must start a budget. This will tell you exactly where all your money is going. To start, you need to know how much you are bringing home. You should review 2 year past bank statements to see how much money you're actually bringing home. From there, you need to subtract monthly expenses that come out every month: your mortgage or rent, any car payments, any other loan payment. From there, you also need to list any variable or discretionary expenses that you make, such as groceries, utilities, any fun money that you spend. List everything that you spend money on and add it to your budget. I know once I started making a budget and following it, I was surprised with how much money I was just throwing away each month. My biggest category was food. and I'm sure yours might be too. I would go to the grocery store and spend about $500 for myself and my wife for food from the grocery store. Then it would seem that I would throw a lot of that food away because I would let it spoil. Because during the week, I would go out to eat fast food and not take my lunch from home. I was able to see the large amount of money that I was spending on food, whether it was at the grocery store or at restaurants. And from then, with my budget, I could make a plan to start taking my lunch to work. This ended up saving me a lot of money because I would no longer go out to eat for lunch. Hopefully, after creating your budget, you have some money left over that you can start putting into any debts that you have. Certainly credit card debt. Credit card debt should be a number one focus for you because this will help lower your utilization rate, which can increase your credit score. Creating a budget is just not for someone trying to get out of debt or with someone with a low income. Everyone needs to have a budget so they know exactly where their money is going and making sure they're not wasting any of it. Next is stop the late payment. As we saw earlier, on-time payments make up 35% of your FICO credit score. So if you cannot have your payments on time, your credit score will never go up. If you're behind on a bill, get caught up as soon as possible. If you're having trouble making your minimum payments, reach out to your creditor and see if they can lower your interest rate for a short period of time. This saved amount of money on interest will hopefully help you be able to make all your minimum payments. If you have late payments, you should not just give up on your credit score. Those negative marks will drop off as you continue to make on-time payments more often. The longer your payment history shows in good standing, the quicker your credit score will go up. The easiest way to make sure you always make your minimum payments is to set up autopay. I like to set up autopay anytime I get a new account so I never have late payments. My next tip is to decrease utilization. Amounts owed makes up 30% of your credit score. This is the largest share after your payment history, which made up 35%. Utilization is the balance of your debts to your available credit. You'll see many people recommending that you keep this balance under 30%. I find this step to be easier to fix in your payment history. All you have to do is be financially disciplined and stay within a budget and pay off your credit cards in full every month. I recommend keeping your utilization in the 1 to 10% range though. Having it this low will give you the biggest benefit to increase your credit score. Ultimately, you should be paying off your credit card each month in full so you pay no interest. It is a myth that you need to leave a balance on your credit card to increase your credit score. Paying interest is never worth it. Do not close any of your credit cards. This can lower your available credit, which can make your credit utilization spike depending on the credit limit that that card had. Keeping your utilization in the 1 to 10% range is key. If you are over your head in credit card debt, you can look into opening up a 0% balance transfer credit card. This will at least allow you to be able to save the 15 to 25% in interest rate and hopefully get you where you can make all your minimum payments. That should not be your first solution though. A better solution is to look at your budget and see if you can find any discretionary expenses that you can cut and then move that money to paying back your debt. My last point is do not open up new credit. While my last suggestion to decrease utilization was to open up a new credit card and do a balance transfer, it is not recommended. New credit makes up 10% of your credit score. And if your credit score is already not doing well, opening up a new credit card can really hurt your score. This really all depends on other factors of your credit score, so you'll need to pull your credit report to see. If you're attempting to borrow money in a short period of time from many different creditors, banks will look at you as a greater risk because they're starting to wonder why you need so much credit in a short period of time. Each time you apply for new credit, you're hit with a hard inquiry, and if you have too many in a 2-year period, this can hurt your credit score. If you already have below average credit score, opening up new accounts can ultimately hurt your goal of seeing your credit score rise. Here are 2 bonus tips to see if they can help your credit score go up. One is to be an authorized user on a family member's credit card. This can help you because their credit profile will be moved to yours, and that can help your score go up. There are a couple of downsides to this though. Some banks have started to catch on to this, and some of them will only start reporting to your credit profile from when you were added to their authorized user account. Since all the data from their credit profile will be moved to yours, this includes any negative remarks. They should have no late payments, a low credit utilization, and have at least a 3 to 5 year credit link. Next is you can use Experian Boost. This helps because Experian Boost will add any phone bills, streaming services, or utilities to your credit profile. This will help increase your on-time payment history. Adding these services to your credit profile is a great way to increase your on-time payment history. This service is great for anyone starting out or having a thin credit profile, unless you haven't been paying for your phone and utilities on time. If you haven't, it can hurt your credit score. Those are my best tips for increasing your credit score instantly. You should focus on trying to get into the 740 credit score range so you can get the best interest rate on mortgages and car loans. Let's look at why having a good credit score is so important. We're going to look at two people buying a $300,000 house with different interest rates based on data from 2019. So the interest rates will be a little bit higher, but it will highlight the point of having a good credit score. The first person has a credit score of 760, so they are receiving the best interest rate on their mortgage possible. The loan is $300,000 with an interest rate of 4.72%. As you can see, their monthly loan payment is $1,462, and the total interest cost over the entire loan is $226,375. The next person has a credit score of 670. The loan is still $300,000, but because of their lower credit score, their interest rate is 4.785%. So about 0.6 of a point lower. While this does not seem like much, it will end up costing them a lot of money. Their monthly loan payment is $1,571, and the total interest cost over their loan is $265,660. Not focusing will end up costing you almost $40,000 if you get a loan like this. Unless you can afford to waste that amount of money on interest charges, then you need to focus on having a high credit score. While you may want to do a shortcut to fix your credit score, you should not. Your credit score did not get below average overnight, and you cannot fix it overnight. You need to focus on showing on-time payments and lowering your credit utilization. Focusing on those two categories, you'll see your credit score increase quickly. Focusing now on fixing your credit score will pay dividends in the future when you get a mortgage and save a lot of money by having a better interest rate. With that, let me know what your thoughts on the video were down in the comments, and any of these tips helped your credit score go up. With that, I'll see you guys next time.